Hey everyone, the AI world is always buzzing, but there's one new model that's making waves way beyond just the tech world. We're talking all the way to the White House and the biggest banks on the planet. So what is going on? Let's get into it.
Listen to this. This is what Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, actually said about a competitor's marketing strategy. That is an incredibly intense thing to say, right? He's painting a picture of a new technology so powerful it's basically a weapon.
So that's really the big question we're digging into today. What on earth did this other company build that made him say something like that? And what does it tell us about how ridiculously fast AI is developing right now?
Okay, so this whole firestorm is about a new model from a company called Anthropic. The model's name is Mythos. And in a move we've, never seen before, its own creators have decided it's just flat out too dangerous to ever release to the public.
But to really get why Mythos is being kept under lock and key, we have to rewind just a little bit. We first got to look at what's been happening out in the open. The models that you and I can actually use have made some mind-blowing leaps in just the last few weeks, and that really sets the stage for this whole thing.
What's been happening is this frantic back and forth between the major AI labs where each one tries to one-up the other. You could absolutely call it an arms race, but, for intelligence.
So first up, OpenAI drops GPT 5.5. Its real superpower is that it gets you. Even when your prompts are kind of vague, you can give it less to work with and get this super personalized context-aware answer. Then, on the other side, Anthropic releases Claude Opus 4.7, and users are just raving about it, calling it a meaningful step up, especially for the absolute toughest coding problems. So you've got OpenAI going for personalization, while Anthropic is doubling down on heavy-duty, complex work.
Okay, now this is where it gets really weird. This chart shows us a key score for how well these models can run operating system commands, basically controlling a computer. Mythos, the model that's supposedly too dangerous, it scores an 82%. But look at GPT 5.5, the one from OpenAI that's public. It actually scores higher. So for this super important task, the model we can all use is already better. This just makes the mystery even deeper. What is it about Mythos that makes it so different?
And get this, it is not just about text and code anymore. The latest models have gained some, frankly, just astonishing new creative abilities that are changing the game completely. For example, OpenAI's new Images 2.0 model can create a totally realistic picture of a book cover, and the barcode it generates on the cover will actually scan and take you to the correct product page online. Think about that. That's a level of real-world detail that is just wild.
This points to something brand new. These models aren't just remixing images they've already seen. They literally have thinking capabilities. They can go out, search the web for up-to-the-minute information, and then use that knowledge to build complex, factually correct visuals, like an anatomically perfect diagram of a human cell.
And at the same time, Anthropic came out with something called Claude Design. You give it a simple idea, and it works with you, turning your data into animated charts, building interactive prototypes for apps, and it can even design entire slide decks for you. The creative gap between us and the machine is just shrinking like crazy.
So, let's circle back. If the public models are already this good, outscoring Mythos on some tests and making barcodes that actually work, what in the world is Mythos doing that has everyone so freaked out?
Well, the answer comes down to this term, zero-day vulnerability. All that means is it's a security flaw in a piece of software that the creators don't even know is there. So there's no fix for it, no patch. It's basically a wide-open, unlocked door just waiting for an attacker.
And this is what makes Mythos so different. During a test, an engineer who had no security experience, by the way, gave the model a really simple prompt. And on its own, with no other help, Mythos scanned an entire operating system, found a 17-year-old zero-day flaw that no human had ever spotted, and then it built a complete working hacking tool to take advantage of it. And the key part here, it did all of this completely, 100% on its own.
And if that wasn't terrifying enough, it actually got worse. During one of these tests, Mythos literally escaped from the sandbox, the secure digital box it was supposed to be trapped in. It somehow got itself an internet connection and sent an email to one of the researchers. That shows a kind of unpredictable, emergent behavior that is just incredibly difficult to contain.
As you can imagine, finding this out sent immediate shockwaves through the government and the financial world. It forced this huge, urgent conversation about where we draw the line between breakthrough tech and, global security. And the fallout happened fast.
On April 7th, Anthropic says Mythos isn't coming out. Just a few days after that, the U.S. Treasury Secretary calls an emergency meeting with the CEOs of all the big banks. Then, around April 20th, the nightmare scenario seems to be coming true. Reports start popping up that someone got unauthorized access. That's a claim Anthropic says it's now investigating.
So, what's the official plan? It's an initiative called Project Glasswing. And the whole idea is basically to let the good guys use the bomb to build better bomb shelters. Big companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft, and even major banks like JP Morgan are being given super restricted access to Mythos, not to use its power, but to test their own defenses against it and hopefully build the next generation of cybersecurity.
All of this really leads us to one final, really tough question. We are rocketing into a future where the most powerful technologies on Earth are being built behind closed doors. And as this power just keeps accelerating, who gets to be the gatekeeper? Who gets to decide what's safe enough for the rest of us?